Right.はい。お願いします。はい。Head up and down. And sides. Keep the shoulder. Circles, one way. And the other way. Hey. Arms. Arms going back. Come in. Oh, you come in. Hey. And stretch one side. And the other side. Crossing one side. And cross the other side. Hey. Dai, siamo aquí. Hey, the other way. Hey, both sides. And G. Oh. Hey, Yoko. Side. Again, one side and the other side. So, so, hey, you go, you go, and you go. Hey, hello. So. The other side. Both sides. You're back. And sides. Inside. Outside. Side. And back. Front. And back. And front. It's up and forward. And down. Hey, your knees front and back. Circles, one way. Circles the other way. Sideways. Front, back, front, back, front, back, back. Opening your toes and down. Now, this exercise is also a good opportunity, apart from working on your ankles and your hips and your heels, etc., to work on your upper back. So when you are down here, if you bring your scapula back, shoulders back, scapula back, and then when you come here forward, you basically round your back, and bring your shoulders forward, forward, forward. Your scapula area also rounds up and stretches up. So stretch your back, running your shoulders forward, coming down here and push the scapula, back, your shoulder blades back. Okay. So focusing on your back a little bit more this time instead of your legs. Your legs are doing what they do, but your back, pushing your shoulder blades back, coming up, rolling your shoulders forward, giving yourself a stretch on your back. One more time, down, putting your shoulder blades back, 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 up, rolling your shoulders forward. Give yourself a stretch there. Back, one more time. Back, 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 and up, rolling shoulders forward. So that just kind of basically have a transition of your lower back going really hyper up in that way to rolling in this way. And then up that way and rolling that way. And those two moments when we do our knees down and up and when we open our toes are good opportunities to open up in case you have any knots or any tension or any tightness on the upper back. Sometimes that helps to open those conditions. Okay, so your hips. So inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Raising of your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One side, raising of knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this time let's do again that knee raising. So remember that the knee can operate in a couple of ways. One is raising of the knee, so the point of impact goes up. And the other one is what sometimes people do, which is like a spear knee, where the pointy part of the knee moves forward. That requires a little bit more movement of your hip in order to kind of point the knee forward, as if you were striking with the front of the knee. So let's do again another 5 on each side. The first 5 focus on the top of the knee, so that's why you will be raising up. Okay, and the second set of 5, you're going to focus on the front part of the knee, which will require a little bit of more using of your hip in order to kind of enter forward. So it's a warm-up, so just do it gently, but just focus on the difference of raising the knee versus spearing, if that's a word, okay, using the knee as a spear with the knee, okay? So just explore those two things, nice and gentle. The second one will be more demanding on your hips and lower back, okay? So raising of your knee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change to the other side, using the top of the knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. This time you're going to use the front of the knee, use your lower back and your hips a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, raising of the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time same raising, but circling the whole leg. Doesn't have to go too high. It's a mobility exercise, not a kick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So open your legs, lowering hips. So, use your fist and knees forward, knees back, knees forward, knees back, knees forward, back, forward, back. Pivot to one side. And pivot to the other side. And hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Spine. Shoulders, head, and circles. And the other side. Turning legs. Lowering one side. And the other side. Goes up. Change. Hands in front. Change. One more time, hands in front. Bring your knees down and sit. Now take your chest out. Hey, change to the side. Hands down, knees down. Sit. And chest out. So, open your legs, elbows down. Ready, going forward. Back stretch. Forward again. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. Hips down. Hips up. And keep your heels on the ground. And now, one at a time, you will kind of walk on that feet. So you will take your heel off the ground, 1 foot at a time, like if you were walking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pushing back. And hips back down again. And hips back. Okay, one side. The other side. One side. The other side. One side. The other side. Side to side. Okay. Hands on your knee, hands and knees down. Raising one arm and passing it through your arm and leg and stretching one side. Change the other hand. Up, through, leg and up, hand, arm. Change again. Up, through. One more time. Up, through. Back stretch. Keep going forward. Legs up. Hips up, sorry. Pushing your hip forward into a push-up position. Bringing one leg in. Leg, arm closest to the leg. Goes up. And goes down. Goes up. And goes down. Goes up. Goes down. And change to the other side. Goes up. Goes down. Goes up. Goes down. Goes up. Goes down. And change. Back again. Right. Down. And gym boxes from one side to the other side. 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 Ushiro Kemi into shin box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now this time, Ushiro Kemi into the next position, which is post and extend. Okay, so we have familiarity with that position. So Ushiro Kemi, post and extend. Ushiro Kemi, post and extend. Ushiro Kemi, post and extend. Ushiro Kemi, post, extend. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, now next one, standard Ushiro Kemi into a post and tucking. So one leg tucks, one posted. So our standard Ushiro Kemi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we have those three basic positions, shin boxes, post and tuck, and post and extend. Okay, so let's see if we can do 2 of each. Okay, so 2 shin boxes, 2 post and extends, 2 post and tucks. Okay, so Ushiro Kemi, shin box, 1, Ushiro Kemi, shin box, 2, Ushiro Kemi, extend, 3, Ushiro Kemi, extend, 4, Ushiro Kemi, tuck, 5, and tuck, 6. And again, shin box, 1, shin box, 2, extend, 1, extend, 2, tuck, 1, tuck, 2, shin box, 1, shin box, 2, extend, 1, extend, 2, tuck, 1, tuck, 2. Okay, so again, it's very important to have quite good familiarity with all of those positions. For the last couple of Saturdays, we've been having a big dunk into physical literacy because we were with James in the gym and did all of that conversation and exercise with James Valentine in the gym a couple of weeks ago. And then last Saturday, we had Stuart from BJJ, again, sharing a lot of insights from his art. So obviously all of that contributes to the physical literacy of our practice, right? Which is the same thing as language literacy, right? So if you always read only one type of book, then you become really focused and really, apt at that particular genre of book. But really, in order to expand your literacy, you have to read other books. Now you may not like biography, you may not like novels, you may not like, history, whatever, but that's the only way of it. If you only read scientific texts, then that's what you become, just a scientific textbook. But the idea is to expand your literacy in general. It's the same thing with the body, right? So that's why it's important to have at least these 3 positions very clearly defined. Shin boxes, tuck, and extend, because they will be quite important in the next few, in practice in general. So as I say, these things are not only good for literacy, but remember I started reminding people about the shin box position because we have those techniques where a person sweeps the knee, and then you end up basically in that position if you are familiar with what it is to have an external rotation which demands an internal rotation from the other side of the body. If a person sweeps the knee and you have never adopted that position, then your body freaks out because it doesn't know what to do, right? Obviously, the tucking element of our practice is basic for all Kemi, and the extending element of the practice is something that, for example, we used yesterday a lot when we were in our weapons class with the Tanto. From Suwariwasa, the personal control, we came into what will be Hijikime, but then from that position, we move into a sitting position stance, which requires that transition from seiza into tuck, into extend and post position. So, and Moreno Sensei has many techniques that require that placement, for example. No? For example, let's just practice now from standing. Let's do the same things, but from on your knee level. One technique that Moreno Sensei uses often is yokogake. Yokogake, which is when basically a sideways tripping. When the person comes from your shoulders, or shoulder, whatever it is, and then Sensei grabs, extends one leg, trips the body, and then the person takes ukemi that way. Okay, but the position which you end up is basically posting and extending, right? And you have to be familiar with it, because if this leg is not extending, there is no tripping action. Okay, so if we are in our knees, let's just do a little bit of yokogake, or basic posting and extending. Okay, from this position, down and post and extend. Change to the side, here, down, post and extend. Change to the side, down, post and extend. Change, up, down, post and extend. Change, up, down, post, extend. Change, up, down, post, extend. Change, here, down, post, extend. Change, here, down, post, extend. One more. Okay, here, down, post, extend. Okay, so anyway, so that's why it's important to have those configurations available in for your training. Okay. Again, the last thing is when you perform a basic senpu ukemi, the senpu ukemi can require a tucking element if you're going to continue standing up, or it may require an extending form if the person holds. You end up with just your normal breakfall position. You may not be able to stand up from the position. Then it's better to end up in an extend and post position. Okay. So from Stuart, we were doing this exercise for a while, and then we stopped doing it. But it was a good reminder to continue doing it. This is a good exercise, which is basically what they call shrimping. Okay, which is when you come to one side of the body and you raise and you tuck. So, we were doing it with the kids. I don't think we did it too much with the adults this time, but we definitely did it last time. So the idea is you're going to move to one side. One leg is still vertical, the other one is down. Your body is on that side, and then you're going to use your hands and mostly your hip to escape that position and come back again. Okay, you're going to go to the other side. One leg opens, your body turns. You use leg and hips to change the other side. So it's very important to kind of practice this 90 degrees opening of your hips. If there is something that BJJ people has very, very, very open, and because they use it a lot, is the capacity to open their hips in this position, which is a great reminder of the importance of that. So that we get really tight on our hips, right? So in this case, first of all, practice your opening your knees at 90 degrees, a bit like a clamp, so one, and then the other side, two, inside, three, side, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now that you open your clamp to one side, just also follow with your shoulder on that side. And now hands in front here, you're going to push, this leg is posting, your hips are going to be up, you're going to push your hips out of the way and come back again, okay? So change to the other side, opening into clamp, roll with your shoulder, use your post, hips out while pushing with your hands back again. In the middle, opening, rolling with your shoulders, use your hands, escape your hip, foot off the ground, okay? And back again. Change to the other side, open, roll, and escape. Back again. Change to the side, open, roll, and escape. Back again. The other side, open, roll, escape, back. Again, side, open, roll, escape, back. Change, side, open, roll, escape, back. Okay. So that I know that it is a bit of obviously a very different movement, but that movement, because of the conscious pulling back of the hip, reminds me, for example, from standing position, the same demand that Moreno Sensei requires for tenshin. Remember when Moreno Sensei practices tenshin, he not just simply steps back, he not just simply steps back and absorbs. He steps back, absorbs, and escapes his hip. His hip basically pulls back. So, you could say step back and absorb, but Sensei will go step back, absorb, and hip. So his hip will get up. So the same way that the hip almost escapes, doesn't escape, but absorbs in tension form, in that shrimping exercise, the hip is performing a similar exercise of moving backwards. So if you stand up for a second, and we just do tension, okay? In that way, pay attention to your hip, escaping backwards, okay? Moving backwards, absorbing, and see if we can relate it later on to the other exercise. Okay, so step back and absorb, up, the other side, step back, absorb, up, side, step back, absorb, change, step back, absorb, change, step back, absorb, change, step back, absorb, change, 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 back, absorb, and stop. So that feeling of the hip moving in that direction is hopefully a similar feeling that we should have here, where the hip moves back into that position. Okay, so let's do 10 more shrimps and pay attention that your hip moves back, hopefully similar to the way they was moving back in Tenshin Taisaraki. Okay, so 1, change 2, change 3, change 4, change 5, change 6, change 7, change 8, change 9, change 10, and back. All right. So there were several things, but let's just focus on about 3 key exercises or key demands, that we had during the weekends of motions that are more or less related to practice, but we need to sometimes see it from another angle. So the next exercise was the requirement that we had to perform the trap and roll. The exercise where the person was mounting on us, and we isolated one side of her body, and then we basically roll them on that side in order to take them off our mount. So now the important thing of that exercise was that your hips were going to be up, but here is where not necessarily we were just going to go sideways, which sometimes we perform that exercise sideways, okay, but we are going to go up, and then we're going to go above our head. So our hand was going to reach above our head. Okay, so that's a good mobility solo exercise. We just need to practice it a little bit more like that. Okay, so legs down, engage your core muscles, which, for example, that element of engaging your core muscles is really important, especially when you have weight on top of you, right? If I had somebody here mounting me, right, I could just simply use the muscle of the hips, on my lower back to try to push them up, or I could engage my core muscle idea and just brace going up. Okay, so flat on the ground, engage your core muscles, raise your hip, and extend your hand above your head. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and change. Okay, engage core muscles, raise your hips, extend above your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One more time, engage core muscles, raise your hip, extend above the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change. Engage core muscles. Raise hips above hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change. Engage core muscles. Raise hips above hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit. All right. So what happened with that is that we're just going to continue that motion until we go on our knee, and then we're going to perform a standing up exercise from there. So from that position, we're going to engage core muscles. We're going to raise our hip. We're going to move over until we follow with our legs. We're going to enter into this position. Okay, up. Okay, and getting up into our feet. Okay, so just that whole sequence. It's an exercise. Engage core muscles. Raise hip above your head. Follow through into your knee. Open your hips and standing up. Okay, one more time. Down. Engage core muscles. Raise your hip above your head. Follow through with your leg. Up. Open your hip and standing up. Okay. Engage core muscles. Raise your hip above your head. Roll. Enter. Open and stand up. Engage core muscles. Raise hip above head. Pull. Continue. Roll. Open your hip and stand up. When I say open your hip, it's basically we are in that position. We're going to open one leg with maintaining control of the pana, and then we use that leg to the opposite leg to stand. Okay? Now, engage core muscles, raise hip, above head, follow through, up, open hip, and stand up. Now, engage core muscles, hips up, above head, roll, down, open hip, and stand up. Couple more. Engage core muscles, up, over the head, down, open hip, and stand up. Come up. Down, core muscles, hips, head, roll, open hip, and stand up. All right? So, a little bit of a demand of that level type of level work. Okay. Now, the next thing that it's important to remind is, it's a little bit related to what we did with the post and extend, our exercise of raising our hips and passing your leg and sitting down. So depending on your wrist condition and your ankle condition, please be careful with this, okay? If you can't fully raise with your hand, like that, you may have to put your fist. You need to be careful with your fist because your fist releases the pressure of your hand being bent, but it will demand more stability on your wrist, right? So it removes the pain from the wrist, but demands more stability of the wrist because otherwise the hand goes wobbly. So please be careful how you perform this exercise. So sitting on the ground, hand in front, raising your hip, passing your hip. And for the moment, just sit down again. Change to the other side, change to the leg, hand in front, hand down, raise hip, pass hip, sit down, and change to the other side. Okay, so one side, hand in front, and raise hip, pass leg, pass back, and sit down. Change to the other side. Raise, pass leg, sit, and change. And in front, raise. Just this action of raising the leg and keeping it parallel to the ground engages core muscles. So just this action is already a good action in itself. Passing your leg, making sure that your both feet are in a good stable position, not wobbly or dodgy shapes. Good position, otherwise ankles and knees will suffer. Okay, go forward again, keep it parallel to the ground with your other hand in front, and you release and lock. Change to the other side. Okay, raise, pass, extend, lower, change, 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 raise, pass, extend, lower. This is the exercise where sometimes some basic skills of physical presence are then explored, especially with children, okay, where, we're talking about the other day with the kids. You're sitting here, eating your sandwich, minding your business. Somebody comes and starts to be mean. First, you use your verbal commands to ask that person to stop. The person doesn't stop, continues. You protect yourself. You raise up in a stable position, still looking at them. And then here is when, in this position, because you're in hand-me, the other person comes and is going to push you on your shoulder while you maintain a good base. For example, a person will be here pushing my shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's okay. The important thing is that we have a strong base, a strong posture, like in the finishing of any of our techniques, when we get up. So we get up, the person comes, pushes our shoulders, pushes our shoulders, pushes our shoulders, we check our base, and we continue moving from there. So it's a good exercise and a good transition of movements in that sense. All right. So we obviously had many more insights into physical literacy, and we will just continue unpacking them as we go in the next few weeks. But especially a lot of the exercises that we did this morning, while they have a relation or a correlation with certain things that we do in Aikido, it's sometimes very important to see them from another angle, the same thing, but from a different angle, in order to give them more attention and sometimes extra value for the things that they allow us to do with our body. Okay, so let's finish up with Misogi breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And breathe normally. So great. Hey. Arigato gozaimashita.